Good morning, everyone. My name is Boris Doyner, and I'm the hearing officer for today. We also have a clerk who is Clinton Otwell. It's not working. Okay, well, it should be working. Otherwise, I speak really loud. There it is. Okay. Again, my name is Boris Doyner, and I'm the hearing officer for today, and Clinton Otwell is the clerk for the hearing. Up front, I already mentioned that I was trying to scream in the room, we have a sign-in sheet. It's very important that you're actually signing in there, because that's how we know that you were here, and if you want to be informed of the proceedings, and if there are any questions that arise, we can actually inform you. We know that you were here through the sign-in sheet, so please make use of that sign-in sheet and sign in. The hearing today is recorded, as you can hear, so my voice will be all over the place. Also, if you're speaking, your voice will be recorded. If you need any devices for a presentation, you can use that. I heard already a cell phone going off just a while before. If you could please silence your cell phones. We're all busy these days, so if you have to take a call, please take it outside. Just silence your phone, maybe put it on vibrate. Today, we are actually hearing 3 separate requests. One is for an encroachment permit application, and 2 are for the operation of autonomous delivery devices to operate on city sidewalks. Specifically, these are order number 20-1015, which is construction of a publicly accessible stairway connecting Powhatan Avenue and Bernal Heights Boulevard, and 2 orders. Order number 20-1023, it's a permit to operate autonomous delivery vehicles by Marble Robot Incorporated. And the other one is order number 20-1026, permit to operate autonomous delivery devices by Postmates Incorporated. My job as a hearing officer is to listen to your testimonies and help our Public Works Director make a determination. I will not be making any decisions today, so I will be just hearing your case. And I will recommend my decision to the director, who will make the ultimate decision on this case. When the director has made a determination, the department will notify you, and again, it's the applicant or who wants to be notified, be on the sign-in sheet, please. The hearing will proceed as follows. At first, I will ask Public Works representative to speak to the case. Then I will allow the property owner or appellant, in this case it's mainly appellants, to speak. Then if there are any members of the public who want to speak, then I will allow again the department to address the comments if they so wish. And then I will allow the appellant again if they would like to have a rebuttal. Each speaker has about 3 minutes. And there is actually a bell that goes off, which I never heard up here, but apparently you can hear it down there, or I'm just deaf. I just never heard it, but apparently it goes off. It's just like the award shows. When you hear the music, in this case a bell, you please restrain yourself to the 3 minutes. After all comments have been completed on one particular order, I will close that item and we'll move on to the next order. So we may be starting with order number 20-1015, which is a major encroachment permit application for the construction of a publicly accessible stairways connecting Powhatan Avenue and Bernal Heights Boulevard. And at this point, I would like to ask the Public Works representative to move forward and present.
Good morning. My name is Burhan. I'm with Public Works BSM, and today I'm going to present this project on behalf of our office. Yes, just to give you an idea, this major encroachment was submitted 2017, basically to construct the stairs between Bernal Heights and Powhatan. And Carver Street currently is unimproved, and it's a city street unimproved and unaccepted. Just if I can go here. Oh, yeah. This is what it looks like. So what the stairs will look like once it's done is this is Bernal Heights up here, and right here is Powhatan, and there are 4 separate properties that are under construction, if not done already, but the stairs will be right here linking the two streets from here to here. Give you an idea, the stairs, the difference between here to here is about 30 feet, and basically the stairs is to connect the two streets in between. Back when, this was as a result of planning's recommendation to apply for the developer to construct the stairs. And once they, submitted the plans, as usual, the city referred the projects to other city agencies for approval, typically city planning, SFMTA, and as well as the structural engineer within Public Works. Carver Street, of course, the stairs will be publicly once they're completed, and the construction will be done by the developer, fully funded and maintained for the life of the stairs. Yes, this is basically Carver Street, and this is the 4 residential homes that are being constructed, and this is just to give people an idea. This is 40 Bernal Height, and that's where the unimproved Carver Street is. Yeah, this just gives an idea where the 4 units are. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is the Carver Street, which is a 40 feet roadway, and the stairs will be 20 feet from the center line of the right-of-way toward the new properties. It's another survey, and this unfortunately is very vague, but this is what the stairs look. They're limited to the center line of the property from here to here, 20 feet into the center right of the roadway. Once this was reviewed, of course, as usual, we sent all the comments to all city agencies, and we got approval from city planning that this was compliant within their, it was in conformity with their general plan, as well as SFMTA approved. I mean, they didn't have any objection to the design. Likewise, because of this is the structure on the right-of-way, it was supposed to be, it's reviewed by structure, and they approved it with comments stating that they need to make sure that the structure needs to be deep enough. So it does. There is a sewer on Carver Street. They just commented that they need to make sure that the footing doesn't affect the sewer. With that, basically after everybody approved it, and we did the notification for today, and notification was done to 300 radius within the property. So here we are. And yeah.
Could I ask you a few clarifying questions? Sure. Because not only that there were probably other people speaking, but we also got a mail-in request for people that cannot be here today. So it is my understanding that there are 4 properties that are being constructed or possibly are being already constructed. Yes. For those, you must have had a CEQA review. As part of this project, were the stairs already outlined in their proposed project?
Correct, yes. Planning did.
So the stairs itself went through proper CEQA review already, so this is just a formality afterwards?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Okay. So I would invite members of the public who would like to speak to this. Well, there's no one here. So we have a written-in request, which I guess we will be answering, right? Yeah,
sorry, I just missed the, I emailed you one.
Yes, I did. I have the printout here, so we will be answering that.
Thank you.
And there was another person in the back. Would you please step forward? I beg your pardon? Should I come forward or just? Yes, no, please come forward. But I guess we have someone else here first. So.
I have something for the view machine. My name's Terry Milne. I'm a North Sider of Bernal Heights. And this is Carver Street today. or last week. And it could use improvement as outlined by the speaker before me. Stairway, it would save 3 blocks of walk to get from here to the top because it's 1.5 up the bent street there. And it would serve as an addition to the Bernal Heights magnitude of stairway land, as quoted by Edith Bakalinsky, the expert on city stairways, and we need more of them. This is open space that could be used for the public, as outlined earlier, and I encourage it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There was another gentleman in the back there. If you would please step forward.
Thank you. My name is Tom Donald. My wife, Mitzi Yim, and I live actually at the property adjacent. This one? Yeah. Okay. Seems fine. My wife and I live adjacent to the stairwell that's on Carver Street. We live at 70 Bernal Heights, which is the house seen in many of these photographs. As you've seen, and Mr. Milne also outlined or showed in his photo, Carver Street is a wilderness. It's a complete overgrown wilderness. And my question is, I know that the stairs are going to be built on the west side of Carver Street from Powhatan to Bernal Heights. My question is, does the developer have any plans to do anything about the overgrown nature of the rest of Carver Street on the east side from the center line east? Does the representative have any ideas on that? I don't know if it's a discussion or not. I'm just going to ask
So
him.
I'm just saying that the thing is, so you can state your case. We will not answer the question immediately. I will ask the Public Works
Okay.
representative afterwards.
Okay,
So
really
please
good.
finish what you wanted to say, and
That's-
then
okay,
we will
fair
have
enough.
Public Works answer.
So my question is the rest of Carver Street intended to have any sort of restoration or removal of the overground foliage that's present now? That's the question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Barbara Underberg. I live at 76 Rosencrantz, just a block up from this site. And I was previously involved in infrastructure improvements in the neighborhood. And when we, streets were widened and sewers improved and lighting and utilities undergrounded. So my question, and so I'm familiar with requirements that came along with that project. And so by extension, my question is, there were street lighting requirements for stairs that we put in the development of that project. And in this project, the length of the stairway seems long enough that perhaps a street light, a stair light of some sort would be required, probably at the halfway mark, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure that that's in the plan. And that's my question, is that in the plan? Shouldn't that be required? And it's more of a question because I'm actually not sure if it's in it, but it seems that it ought to be based on the requirements that I am familiar with. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Otherwise, yes, I also am in favor of the stairway itself. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak to this matter? I would like to invite the Public Works representative back, if he could. There were 2 questions raised.
Yes, sure, yeah.
One is the vegetation, and
The
I guess-
vegetation,
and the other one would be about the lighting
Yeah,
requirements.
the lighting, yes, there will be lighting, and the project was referred to Light, Heat, and Power, PUC, and we will get a review from them. It's still, we haven't, we can ask the developer if they have received anything, but definitely there is going to be a lighting. The other side of the street, typically the plants are limited to the center of what we have been reviewing is to the center of the roadway, so it's limited. Our plan review have been limited to the center of the roadway, so the first 20 feet toward the property.
So if I may ask, so the maintenance of these stairways would be then with the developer, or would that? be with
Definitely, yes. The
developer?
maintenance of the stairs,
And-
which is the half side of the street, will be maintained by the developer for the life of the stairs.
Thank you so much. If there are any other remarks from the public, also based on the comments from Public Works, you may step forward.
I'll just stand. So therefore, down the center line, as it's been defined in this meeting, east of the center line, that remains the responsibility of the city, correct? It's a city street. Is that correct? Whose responsibility is it for that side of the street? That's my question.
Okay.
When it's not accepted for maintenance by the city, it's the property owner that's on that side. So anyone who have a property on that side, they are the property owners that are required to maintain it and keep it safe. So that's why the developer that's going to the center half, they maintain half of this, and the other developer on the property owner across the street maintains the other half when the street is not accepted for maintenance by DPW.
Thank you so much. If there are no further comments, either from the public or from Public Works, I'm here with closing this order, and we are moving on to the next one, which is order number 20-1023. Consider a request of Marble Robot Incorporated to allow autonomous delivery devices to operate on city sidewalks for research and development testing pursuant to Public Works Code 794. I already see the Public Works representative is present. If you could please make your presentation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Good morning, my name is Gregory P. Slocum. I'm representing the Bureau of Street Use and Mapping for the Department of Public Works. Thank you all for coming out today. So I will be presenting two separate applications for testing of autonomous delivery devices, but these two applications will represent the first of their kind for our department. So before I present, I want to just give a very brief background for our audience.
Without interrupting you, so you're going to present both orders at the same time? You want
These applications will be presented separately and are to be considered on a standalone basis. The information that I'm about to provide to our audience is generic to all applications so that they may understand what is being presented to them.
Thank you.
Acceptable?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Public Works Code 794 and Public Works Order number 187703 establish regulations and guidelines for the use of autonomous delivery devices within the public right-of-way for testing and research purposes. And autonomous delivery devices are frequently abbreviated as ADDs. So if you see that phrase or hear it, that's what it's a reference to. Any single permit may utilize 3 devices for testing. The city will only permit a total of 9 devices and will only allow 3 permittees to operate simultaneous to one another. Each of these applications will denote how many devices they have when we present. Upon approval, an autonomous delivery device permit is valid for up to 180 days. If the applicant submits a written request to the director at least 14 days prior to the expiration of the permit may be extended for 90 days with a maximum of 2 requests. Applicants may only operate within the zoning districts that are designated for production, design, and repair and have not been identified as high injury corridors for the city's Vision Zero Road Safety Initiative. I'm going to take a moment. I'd like to put a zoning map up. So these 2 areas that I'm going to point out that are coded in blue would represent PDR district. And I'm just sharing that for representative purposes so that you can kind of contextualize where this testing may occur. Applicants are required to maintain insurance for general liability, automotive liability, and workman's compensation. They must provide the privacy policy for their company, details related to the technical operation of the device, and a map depicting the scope of the proposed testing area. During the testing process, a human operator must be within 30 feet of the device, and the device may not exceed speeds of 3 miles per hour. Following the approval of an automated delivery device permit, the operator must make disclosures on a monthly basis to Public Works regarding data collected by devices, info on businesses that are incorporating devices into their practice, and any incidents or complaints that are relative to the testing. There are restrictions on the size of the devices that will be deployed that are spatial in nature as well as the weight per square foot. Applicants are also subject to any additional laws or regulations on local, state, and federal level. That's general information that's related to these permits. I would like to present the two applications now. They're to be considered separately and on a standalone basis. The first permit that we will review will be Marble Inc., 18 ADD 0002. This application was submitted to our office November 29th, 2018. The applicant is seeking to test 3 devices with permitted operating hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No commercial items will be transported during testing. And they have 2 suggested areas that they've proposed testing. I'm going to put that up on the overhead. So this is a design district that's bound by 7th Division, Hubble, 16th, and Vermont, just in case it's not very clear on this map. You may notice that there's a red area that's a non-PDR zone. You may also notice some red lines. Those would represent high injury corridors. Testing is not to occur within those areas. I'm about to show you a second map. This map depicts a proposed testing area in the dog patch. As you can notice, that blue shading is going to represent PDR zone. The red lines on those street segments would represent high injury corridors that would be prohibited from testing therein. The applicant has provided technical specifications, a privacy policy, proof of insurance, and a labor statement, all pursuant to the order and code. One thing that I'd like to note is that this hearing is not a result of any objection. The public hearing is built into this permitting process for these applications. Staff has not received any objections, and we've received approximately 24, give or take, letters of support. They were still coming in this morning as I was leaving to arrive here. With that being said, that's going to be concluding my brief on Marble Inc.'s application. That's 18 ADD 0002.
Thank you so much. I just have one really quick clarifying question. I saw all the comments that came in and the support for this, but there was one comment in particular that mentioned your CEQA protocols by, I guess, Vercam Dave Iyer. Was that being considered, or is that even being considered?
We received correspondence that essentially absolved them of that requirement or said
Okay.
that there were no issues that would require that type of review.
I just want to make sure, so then we have actually no issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
I may now invite the applicant.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm Kevin Peterson. I'm the CEO of Marble. Let's see. Is the presentation on here? Or? Yeah, we have. Cannot see the mouse. I'll just let's see if I can. All right, we'll do it this way. Yeah, the mouse isn't. Okay, actually, just started showing up. I got it. Thank you. So I'll quickly talk through what we're doing as a company, and then our permit application, although a number of the details that we'll talk about were just presented.
Thank you.
So this is our team. We're local. We're in San Francisco. Our office is in Potrero Hill. I'm one of the founders of the company. So I worked on the first self-driving cars about 10 years ago at Carnegie Mellon. I met Jason building moon landers as part of the Google Lunar X Prize. And then we've built our team around best people in autonomy and hardware builds. We have about 35 people. We're built around ML and autonomy, which is important because we want these vehicles to be safe. We're addressing the urban last mile, and so as delivery grows, and there's a lot of different kinds of deliveries, as delivery grows, we're seeing a lot of congestion. There's pollution from vehicles, cars, and trucks on the street, and it's costly relative to what we could do. We're specifically looking at package delivery as our primary use case. And so this is a picture of the first UPS truck. It's a Model T from 1909. And then if we flash forward to 2019, the techniques that we're using to deliver these packages are still the same. It's a person in a truck and a clipboard. And while the means that we're using to deliver these packages are the same, the tools really haven't changed, and the delivery volume has gone up and up and up. And the result of that is the issues on the previous slide, and then injuries and things like that, long work hours. So we'd like to resolve some of these issues. Our goal is to make last mile logistics fast, accessible, and frictionless, whether that's groceries, medicine, or any other kind of package. The vehicles themselves operate at walking speeds, so they operate at a comfortable pace. The permit limits us to 3 miles an hour, and that's about how fast the vehicles drive. We want to deliver within minutes of when an order happens, and then we use 3D mapping and state-of-the-art AI to guide the vehicles. This is a video of the reactions of people receiving their deliveries from some of our first pilots. It's one of the coolest things, we think. So these are, we got permission to video these deliveries. So these are people who are receiving a robotic delivery for the first time. These are food deliveries with one of our partners. People are super excited. We get comments like, I'm finally living in the future. And this is a small sampling of those reactions across the board. We've had positive reaction from the vehicle and the community. I think that's... This is what our vehicle looks like. It's about the size of maybe a copy machine, small copy machine. It's a modular design so that cargo in the back can be swapped out to do different things. It's got a useful capacity, so you'll see robots that are very small. We're targeting larger deliveries, but still comfortable on the sidewalk. Zero emissions, it's an electric vehicle. And then it's secure. It's got a keypad on it so that nobody can open it unless you're the intended recipient. And then it's designed to be courteous and safe, so as it drives, it understands the protocol on the sidewalk and what people are going to do, and it considers sort of the actions of the pedestrians so that it comfortably moves on the sidewalk. We've built in a lot of safety features. We've done thousands of miles of testing. We have redundant sensing on board to make sure that we'll never have an accident. There are front lights and tail lights for operating in the dark and so that the vehicle's visible. It's got a 70 dB noise emitter to alert pedestrians. So if a pedestrian's blind, for instance, they'll know the vehicle's there. There are, when we're operating during this pilot, there will be 2 people monitoring the vehicle at all times. There will be one within 30 feet as the permit requires, and then we'll have another one remote. And then there's a local and remote emergency stop, so they can stop the vehicle at any time if an issue occurs. If the vehicle were to lose power, it's got a power off brake, so it's safe on hills. It's safe in the event of some form of malfunction. These are stats on the vehicle. It can drive, it physically can drive up to about 6 miles per hour. We can limit that in software, and that's what we'll do for this permit. It's got 8 hours runtime, operates all day, takes about 4 hours to charge. And then it can carry a payload of up to about 100 pounds and operate in fog and rain. And you can see the sizes there if you're interested. And those fit within the permit requirements. And then at the end of the day, we're interested in building this vehicle because it has large impact. So first off, access for people in food deserts, single parents, seniors, and homebound individuals. The livability of neighborhoods is important to us. We want to connect local businesses to customers in their community. It's challenging for local businesses to do delivery right now. We want to reduce the number of trucks on the road. That's for pedestrian safety and for pollution reasons. Sustainability, so the vehicle's electric powered, that impacts clean air. And then from a workforce point of view, we're creating jobs at all stages of the pipeline, from manufacturing to design to operations and maintenance. These are the areas that we would like to operate in. So they're in the design district and Dogpatch. We're aware of the areas that we can't operate within those zones, and we'll respect those limits. The max speed's 3 miles an hour, and it'll be accompanied by a person at all times. Thank you.
I have no further questions, but is there anyone from the public who would like to speak to this matter?
Good morning, thank you. My name is Cole Brennan. I'm the Senior and Disability Outreach Coordinator for Walk San Francisco. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this. Most of my comments are broadly applicable to ADDs in general, but I do have some specific Marble comments. As the city's only advocacy group dedicated to people walking, WalkSF believes that autonomous delivery devices will lead to less space and more obstacles for the many people who walk in San Francisco. They will make it more difficult for seniors and people with disabilities to navigate our city, since sidewalks are the only public spaces dedicated to all pedestrians. Sidewalks are the only places we don't have to dodge vehicles yet. We currently don't allow bikes, e-scooters, or segways on sidewalks because of the space they take up and the threat and challenges they pose to people walking. My Marble-specific comments are that in the videos and on their website, they already show themselves to be violating the standards of this permit by delivering outside of PDR zones in residential neighborhoods. One image on their website shows packages being delivered apparently from Amazon Whole Foods to a residential street on Potrero Hill. That violates the standards that are set forth in this permit. We hope that they'll, in the future, comply with this permit, and WalkSF will be watching this program carefully to ascertain how it is monitored, evaluated, and assessed for future rollout to non-PDR corridors. Thank you so much.
Is there any other member from the public that would like to speak?
Yes, good morning. My name's Doug Block. I'm with Teamsters Joint Council 7, and for over 100 years, our members have been engaged in the delivery business. We're not afraid of change, and back in 2017, we were supportive of a local manufacturing and the potential for creating more full-time jobs in San Francisco. We supported the initial permit instead of a ban on the conditions that they have a live human being chaperoning the device, that the manufacturing remains local, and with the understanding that these companies would engage in a meaningful way to create pathways for the future of work. We're in the middle of conversations in San Francisco and at the state on the future of work, and we're tracking all these technologies carefully. We believe this has potential to be a great source of stable jobs in a growing industry, but it also has the potential to continue a worrying trend towards a gig economy which does not factor in the dignity of work. And as it stands now, we recommend further thought about this use of our public space. Neither application has adequate labor dispute statements. Marble initially promised us a great partnership, but they walked away from that after we helped them stop the ban. And now I'm here this morning looking at slides that indicate they're going after 250,000 good-paying Teamster jobs at United Parcel Service. Those are our members. While we've had good conversations with Postmates on other issues, they haven't engaged with us in this space. The email from Marble suggests full autonomy rather than testing with a chaperone. And the application from Postmates states an intention to transport commercial items, which does not sound like testing. I urge you to proceed very cautiously here, and I'm here today to tell you that we have a deep sense of buyer's remorse from getting involved in this in the beginning. Thank you.
Is there any other member from the public that would like to speak to this? Is there the Public Works representative who would like to speak to this matter again, what has been brought forward?
I have no additional comments on this application.
Is a member of Marble Incorporated who would like to speak to the comments that were heard from the public?
Yep, I've got a few responses. First off, relative to disability groups, we've worked with disability groups throughout the development of the robot, and we've had very positive responses from them. The impact of the vehicle and the positive impact of the vehicle will be that people who can't get out of their homes right now or have difficulty accessing places like grocery stores will have more access. And we think that's a really big deal. Our goal is to be able to enable people to do things that they can't do today. We've worked with those disability groups to understand what the limitations are and what the operating modes of the vehicle are to be able to be safe around them. So we think we've done actually a very good job working with them. There was a comment that we violated the permits. So we've been working with the city of San Francisco since before there was a permitting process. We worked with DPW to find a way to legally operate the vehicles, and those videos are from before this permitting process was in place. Since then, we've been operating in Concord, California, where they've been very happy to work with us, and I'd be happy to provide references and contacts there if you'd like to speak with them. Our goal with these vehicles is to improve the number of deliveries that people can do, whether they're a UPS driver or they work in the gig economy. It is not to create a much larger gig economy. And so we think that these vehicles actually help individuals who are driving trucks. We don't see these vehicles replacing those people. And so we'd be happy to talk to you more about what we're doing there. I think that's everything that I've got. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think we heard all parties. Public Works does not want to speak again. So I would close order number 2010-23 and move to order number 2010-26. It's again consider a request from Postmates, and in this case, to allow autonomous delivery devices to operate on city sidewalks.
Hi, this is Gregory P. Slocum, again, representing Bureau of Street Use and Mapping for the Department of Public Works. And this is ADD, or Autonomous Delivery Device Application 18 ADD 0001. It's submitted to our office June 18th, 2018. The applicant is seeking 3 devices within this permit with operating hours of 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. These devices may include commercial products when testing through the real delivery testing scenario as outlined in the permit application. And I'm going to throw up on the overhead here very quickly a map of the proposed testing area. So as you can see here, this is approximately where 80 and 101 intersect. These are designated corridors within the PDR that cannot test within a Vision Zero high-risk corridor. The applicant has provided technical specifications, a privacy policy, proof of insurance, and a labor statement as well. Staff has not received any written objections to this application prior to our hearing today. We're having it per the order and legislation that requires it. And we have received 1 letter of support to date. That's all, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. May I now invite the representative of Postmates Incorporated?
Good morning. My name is Vignesh Ganapathy, and I'm a senior government relations lead with Postmates, and I'd like to thank the director and staff for engaging with us in our application for San Francisco's automated device, a delivery device permit. To give some background on Postmates, this company was formed back in 2011 with the goal of giving brick and mortar retailers the tools that they need to compete in the 21st century. Now, what that means for us is that I think over the last 10, 15 years, we've seen this proliferation of big box retail online. And as a counterbalance to that, we're able to offer those same delivery tools to smaller businesses, mom and pop shops that previously were unable to compete with stores that tend to deliver from larger institutions. Over the past 2 years, we developed our first of its kind ADD Serve in order to augment our delivery fleet and increase access to the city's brick and mortar businesses. At a time when the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development points to concerns that local retailers in San Francisco, merchants on our platform, that there's been decreasing foot traffic and sales, merchants on our platform have seen their sales reach increase by as much as 5 times in San Francisco, and we're hoping that Serve can help increase that reach even further. But so that rather than navigating through dense neighborhoods as couriers currently have to do when they're in the Market Street corridor or in dense areas of the city, that using robotics will give us the ability to have the pickup happen at this place of business within a dense corridor, and then move it maybe 2 blocks away to a designated curb allocation or pickup and loading zone where the drop-off can be made to a vehicle away from the congestion and away from some of the traffic that has continued to be a challenge for many of us in the city. In addition to that, what we found is in our models where we've used Serve to augment our fleet experience, our fleet has been able to do 20 to 30% more jobs, which has resulted in significant net gains throughout our ecosystem. And we're hoping that Serve can provide data to the city concerning infrastructure challenges. We can map sidewalks, and enable curb modernization. We've been very open about data sharing, and we strongly lean into a culture in which, in a culture in which tech has generally tended to keep algorithm in a black box, that rather we tend to think that transparency is the best path to be able to enable a world in which we can come up with a sustainable model for how new and emerging technologies are deployed. And we're hopeful that these initiatives can reduce dwell times, they can provide real-time feedback on transportation needs, curb carbon emissions, minimize double parking and traffic congestion, advance Vision Zero goals, and serve as a template for what smart city development looks like. And as we've been pursuing this permit, we've also been considering the goods carrying portion of this. For us, the use case is important for us to be able to establish, to be able to show that we are able to drop it off effectively, that the cargo hold actually opens when it arrives at its destination, and that it's able to climb curbs effectively with cargo being held within the particular device. With already, we've been able to do 2,500 miles of testing, mostly in Northern California at senior living facilities. Rossmore, outside of Walnut Creek, has been our greatest partner in this. And there, we've been training Serve to operate with people in mind. We are very concerned about the ways in which robotics interface with our citizens and with our residents, people who may be walking in a walker and in a wheelchair 2x2, and whether a robot is able to effectively move out of the way and cede right of way to pedestrians for whom this infrastructure has been developed in the first place. We've been calling that our socially aware navigation technology, and it's really important for us to be able to respect our elderly or disabled neighbors on our sidewalks that people use daily. And as part of that, we've been engaging in discussions with various organizations, senior living facilities, the San Francisco Bicycle Coalition, and as well as early conversations with Walk SF, really focused around finding where we can have a nexus around trying to increase the number of non-automobile designated space within the city to be able to make this a more wholesome multimodal environment. We haven't actually seen that effectively take place, I think, in many jurisdictions, and we really have the opportunity with both the community-oriented approach that San Francisco takes, as well as the innovation culture that exists here, to be able to collaborate on these points, but it requires us to be able to come to the table and work together. As was outlined in our application, the device will be operated with a chaperone who will be following it on either on a bicycle or walking just a couple of feet behind it, as well as with an off-site pilot who we tend to hire our pilots through our partnership with Swords to Plowshares, through which we're able to reintegrate individuals who who are re-entering from military service into being able to engage in robotics R&D. So this permit will allow us to test our ADD Serve in San Francisco's urban environment as opposed to the environment that we're currently testing in at Rossmore, and help us continue a collaborative and inclusive approach to what new mobility looks like. Because our Postmates fleet consists of pedestrians, bicycles, cars, we're committed to ensuring that goods and people are able to move throughout San Francisco efficiently and safely, and we've been outspoken advocates for increasing pickup loading zones and bicycle infrastructure. Serve safely walks alongside pedestrians, it navigates around fire hydrants, and respects our sidewalks to the extent that we've been able to design, and we'd like to continue working on those specifics. It's able to travel at a 25% grade and at 3 miles per hour. The size requirements have been met. It's at 31 inches by 24 inches by 41 inches, about the size of a small cooler that would move on the sidewalk. And to communicate, Serve has dynamic lighting in its eyes and a light ring on top to signal movement like a change in direction or intent. So as well as rear taillights that will turn red when it's braking, and that its eyes are able to signal the direction that it's going to be turning. We're very cognizant that emerging technology should be rolled out mindfully in San Francisco. We've worked with SFMTA and District 10 on addressing food deserts and curb allocation. So we're very grateful to the Board of Supervisors and Supervisor Norman Yee's office for shepherding a process that ensures community input on this, and we welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you. May I invite members of the public to speak if they so wish?
Hello again. I'm still Cole Brennan from Walk SF. From what we understand to be the Postmates business model, these robots will be used to bring goods from businesses to vehicles that are waiting a few blocks away to drive the food and goods across town to their customers. That means that they will add more cars to our already congested streets. Additionally, from the recent person's testimony, Market Street and nearly all streets adjacent to it are on the high injury network. They are not suitable for this kind of testing. These are the busiest sidewalks in the city, and they are already too narrow for their pedestrian flows, according to NACDO guidelines. The curb allocations that Postmates theorize for use do not yet exist, and have not been pursued with the kind of gusto that they've used to pursue the robotics. So we still would like to proceed only with the utmost caution in this testing. Thank you.
I'm back as well. So I would like to share a little bit of the flavor of the conversations at the Board of Supervisors when the issues around these robots were coming up in the first place. And let me preface my remarks by saying that every day I wake up and I work for over 100,000 Teamsters from Bakersfield to the Oregon border and Reno in northern Nevada. And I believe in all of my territories, San Francisco is the most important place, because this is the home of cutting-edge technology. This is the home of trends that are reshaping the future of work. And unlike other cities that might look at this strictly as a permitting issue, a safety issue, the discussions at the Board of Supervisors were also around labor issues and the dignity of work. As I said, when we met with Supervisor Yee, we encouraged him to move away from a ban and embrace new technology. Because my union, we are not Luddites. We started out driving teams of horses, we moved to trucks, and I believe someday we're going to be helping operate semi-autonomous vehicles and robots. So we embraced this technology. But as I said, we have people who live in San Francisco here who have criminal backgrounds with a high school education who are making $75,000 a year driving a truck for United Parcel Service with fully paid family health care and a pension. And our Board of Supervisors who we elect here think that that is important to consider, and they made that clear. So they inserted a provision in here to maintain labor harmony. And we reached out to both of these applicants with the hopes of establishing good union jobs in this industry. And as I said, we're nowhere in that regard. And for either of these applicants to claim that there will be no labor disputes, we only need to look at earlier this month when Uber and Lyft drivers, who I might add are responsible for much of the congestion in this city from these similar groups of companies, went on strike and took action here in San Francisco and all around the world in the United States. So I appreciate more thought going into these conversations. San Francisco has the opportunity to shape a future where we have innovative technology that augments jobs instead of automates them, and we are glad to be part of that discussion. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rahim Ali. I'm a small business owner. I've been a small business owner here in San Francisco for over 5 years. When I first started in San Francisco, getting people into my store was the hardest thing to do. The first 2 years, I almost failed. However, I did not give up. After my second year, I was fortunate enough to meet a company called Postmates. Postmates allowed me to use their platform to do what I was not able to do, which was allow myself, a small business owner, to grow my business by using their technology and their drivers to get my products to my customers. That helped me grow from 2 employees to today I have over 8. Once again, creating local jobs here in San Francisco. The hardest thing I had to grow and to give back to my community was getting people to understand that people are changing. The word convenience has moved away from a small business that is local in front of your house or apartment to now people want to push a button on their mobile device and get their products delivered during their busy day, which is here in San Francisco. Most of the people I know work 60 to 80 hours a week. It's a lot of time spent doing your business. Do you want to spend your time getting your products, going to the store, sitting in line, driving, parking, all that stuff, or push a button on your phone and empower small businesses like myself to deliver? The next problem we have today is a lot of the drivers that we get that want to deliver don't want to deliver short distances. Some don't want to deliver at all because of the time of the day it is. At the end of the day, as a small business owner, my commitment to my customer is to get the product to them. Allowing products like this to give us another opportunity of learning, growing in this city is very powerful. We want to be able to take our products and use platforms like Postmates, not Amazon, who wants to take us out and replace small business owners, but actually allow us to use the technology that we can't afford and grow. So I do ask, and I do support these two businesses, and I do ask that you do give them a chance to test and let us learn as small business owners on how we can grow in our city. Thank you.
Is there any other representative for the public who would like to speak? I would ask a Public Works representative if they have any further comments.
No additional comments, thank you.
Is the person that's representing Postmates would like to address some of the comments that were made?
Thank you for the opportunity to address those concerns. I think as a San Francisco-based business that interfaces both with local businesses, with workers, and with consumers within the city, we have a responsibility to be a good neighbor. And what that means is both on the urban mobility front as well as questions around what the future of work looks like. We need to continue to engage our partners both with labor and with pedestrian advocates, bicycle advocates, and so on and so forth in order to be able to drive these conversations forward and really collaborate on what these use cases look like. On the urban mobility front, the Market Street example was a hypothetical. We don't intend on deploying there, but we do see the use case being in congested areas where cars are already traveling in order to be able to pick up goods. So we're looking to displace the car traffic within those congested areas and do the pickups elsewhere. We have worked on curb allocation tests with SFMTA and with CTA. Through those processes, we've been doing pretty extensive data sharing on exactly where pickups and drop-offs are currently happening and how business owners view the parking spaces in front of those businesses. And we hope to continue those conversations and hopefully come to a table with other advocates in this space. On the future of work questions, again, labor has been one of the most thoughtful partners for us, especially as a gig economy company that's engaged in developing products for logistics infrastructure. And we want to continue to work with them and understand that this is going to be an issue that continues in the years to come. But again, being a good neighbor involves that outreach, and we hope to engage, I think, more thoroughly than we have in the past, and we hope that you consider our application. Thank you
so much. Since there are no further comments on this issue, I'm here with closing this order, and this was the last order of the day, so therefore I'm going to close the hearing. Thank you so much.